Student, today we will do the next part of our chapter Brown Wolf. In the first part we read Walt Irwin and Maze had a dog which was not friendly with others. They called it Wolf. One day he met a stranger and behaved like a friendly dog. And what happened after that we will read in that part. Maze was surprised to see the friendly behavior of Wolf. Is that what you call him, Wolf? The man asked. Now man asked them, you called him Wolf? He lifted one of Wolf's four legs and examined the foot pads, pressing them. Kind of soft, he remarked. He ain't been on trail for a long time. He turned to Maze and Walt and asked, how long have you had him? On examining the underside of the dog's four paws and finding that they were soft, Miller knew that the dog had not pulled a sledge in a long time. So he asked Walt and Maze how long he had with you. But just then the dog, screaming and rubbing against the newcomer's legs, but the dog moving around the newcomer's leg, opened his mouth and barked, and he opened his mouth and started barking. Walt and Maze stared at each other. Walt and his wife are looking each other. The miracle had happened. Wolf had barked, and it was a miracle for them because the wolf was barking first time. It's the first time he ever barked, Maze said. Maze informed that he barked first time. First time I ever heard him too, Miller added. Miller also added, I also heard his barking first time. Maze smiled at him. The man was evidently a humorist. Of course, she said, since you have only seen him for 5 minutes. For Maze, the man was looking humorous. Humorous means funny. He confirmed his statement that you only watch him before 5 minutes. Skip Miller looked at her sharply. Now, Skip Miller very sharply looked at the mage. I thought you understood, he said slowly. I thought you understood that he is my dog. Skip Miller informed that they will understood that he is his dog. His name isn't Wolf, it's Brown, and his name was not Wolf, his name was Brown. How do you know he's your dog? Walt demanded. Now Walt asked Miller, how can he say that he was his dog? Because he is, was the reply. The man replied, because he was his dog. Skip Miller turned to the dog, Brown. His voice rang out sharply, and at the sound the dog's ear flattened down. As Skip Miller called the dog Brown, on the voice of Skip Miller, dog's ear flattened. Gee! The dog made a swinging turn to the right. Now must on, and the dog ceased his swing abruptly and steered straight ahead, halting obediently at the command. As the Skip Miller said "Gee," the dog made a swinging turn to the right. It means the dog turned to the right. Now mush on. Mush on means stop. Now the Skip Miller said stop, and the dog ceased his swing, and the dog suddenly stopped his swing abruptly, fastly, and stared straight ahead and starting to watch straight, and he obediently stopped on Skiff Miller's command. Skiff Miller smiled proudly. He was my lead dog. Now Skiff Miller smilingly answered that he was his lead dog. Lead dog means the dog that leads a sledge team. The lead dog generally controls the speed of the entire team of dogs and also takes them in the right direction. But you are not going to take him away with you, Madge asked tremulously. With shaking voice, Madge asked Miller, "Can you going to take away the dog from them?" "No, he won't," Walt announced in a determined voice. Walt answered that he wouldn't. "Perhaps you want to sell him. We can buy him." Walt offered Miller that if he want to sold the dog, they could buy it. Skiff Miller shook his head and said, "I reckon there's nothing inside to prevent me taking the dog right here and now, and I ain't selling him." But Skiff Miller shook his head and said, "I reckon there's nothing inside to prevent me taking the dog right here and now, and I ain't selling him." Miller said that he thought nobody will prevent him to take the dog and he did not want to sell him. "But what about the dog?" Mace cried. "Have you considered the dog?" Now Mace said to the Skiff Miller, "Think about the dog, what the dog want." Skiff Miller looked puzzled. Now Skiff Miller was looking confused. "Maybe the dog has some choice in the matter," Mace went on. Mace said, "Maybe the dog has choice. Maybe he has his likes and desire. It has never entered your mind that possibly he would like to stay here and not go back." Madge said that if the dog want to stay with them and not want to go back, this was a new way of looking at it, and Miller was clearly debating about it in his mind. And Miller thought it was a new way, and he was continuously thinking in his mind about it. Madge realized he was unsure and used the opportunity to persuade him that the dog had a choice. Now Mace think he was not sure about his decision, and they have a opportunity to convince him. Persuade means convince him that the dog had a choice. If you really love him, what would make him happy would make you happy too, she urged. Now Mace requested Mirror, if you really love the dog, which thing made the dog happy, that will also made you happy too. Miller thought for a while and said slowly, "Your remarks, ma'am, have some weight in them." Now Miller also thought for a while and slowly said, "Whatever you said, that is the point. We'll let him choose. Whatever he says goes. You people stay right here. I'll say goodbye and walk off. If he wants to stay, he can stay. If he wants to come with me, let him come. I won't call him to come, and don't you call him to come back." Now Miller is ready, he said to the mage. They let the dog choose whatever he liked. Miller said to the mage and Irwin. They stayed there and he would go. If the dog wanted to stay, he could stay. If he wanted to come with him, let him come. And he would not call him, and don't they called him to come back. Fine, we'll play fair, Mace said. Mace said that neither Mage or nor Miller will try to make the dog choose between them. Well then, I might as well be getting along, Skiff Miller said in the ordinary tones of one departing. It means Miller bade them goodbye in a very casual or natural manner so that the dog would think that he was actually leaving for good. At this change in his voice, Wolf lifted his head quickly. When Wolf saw the change in his voice, he lifted his head quickly and still more quickly got to his feet, and quickly he came upon his feet when the man and woman shook hands. When man and woman were shaking hands, he sprang up on his hind legs, resting his forepaws on her hip and at the same time licking Stiff Miller's hand, and the dog starting to lick the Skiff Miller's hand. When the latter shook hands with Walt, Wolf repeated his act, resting his weight on Walt and licking both men's head. When Skiff Miller shook hands with Walt, now Wolf repeat this process with Walt, he also licking the hands of Walt. It ain't going to be easy, I can tell you that, were the Klondike's last words as he turned and went slowly up the trail. When Skiff Miller was going to the short way, he said it was not an easy work. For some time, Wolf watched him go. Then, with a quick low whine, he sprang after him. After some time, Wolf ran after him, took him, caught his hand between his teeth, and stooped gently to make him pause. And he held his hand with his mouth and tried to stop him. Failing in this, Wolf raced back to where Walt Irwin sat, catching his coat sleeve in his teeth and trying vainly to drag him after the retreating man. When Wolf was unable to stop Miller, he raced back to Walt Irwin and Mage and caught his sleeve and trying to stop the retreating man, the man who was going. And the dog saw Irwin was not stopping Miller. He then turned his attention to Mage. Then Wolf turned to Mage. He snuggled his head in her lap and he kept his head in the lap of Mage, nudging her arm with his nose, an old trick of his when begging for favors. And he did that because he wanted the favor of Mage, and it was his trick. This too he soon abandoned when they did not move. But when Mage and Irwin didn't move, he left them. Wolf waited for a long minute, silently and quietly. He waited for their action for a long time, silently and quietly. Then he was on his feet. He had made up his mind. His eyes were fixed up the trail. Now he decided in his mind, and his eyes fixed on the way. He broke into a trot, which turned into a run. Not once did he turn his head. He cut sharply across the curve of the trail and was gone. In the last, when Maze and Irwin didn't stop the miller, Wolf looked at the way, and after that he started walking. First he was slow, then he started running. Not once did he turn his head. He did not look behind. He cut sharply across the curve of the trail and was gone. It means Wolf did not look behind. He went behind his owner, Stiff Miller, because he was the real owner of the dog. I hope you will understand the story. Mage wanted to give the dog a chance in the matter to staying or living, because she hoped that he would choose to stay back with her and Walt, but the dog in the last went after his real master. So this story show us the faithfulness of dog also.